You pretend you're fine. Everyone thinks you're doing amazing. But deep down, you feel the emptiness and unhappiness on the inside. Let me show you exactly why do you feel that way and how to exactly get your happiness and life back step by step. Let's meet Michael. Michael is smart, successful. He does everything right. He's rich, he's respected, and he's productive. He is the ideal person according to the society. Society basically told him, do all this and your life will be perfect. So he followed the script. But instead of feeling fulfilled, he lies awake at the night, staring at the ceiling. There is a tightness in his chest, something pulling him down from the inside, and he can't name it. He whispers inside his own mind. Why am I unhappy? Why am I empty? What's wrong with me? He doesn't have an answer. And one night he just breaks down crying. Now let's look at Phil. On paper, he's also successful, same age, similar achievements, but he is different. Every night he sleeps peacefully. His mind is calm, his heart feels full. He wakes up with energy, excited for the day like a kid on the birthday morning. He smiles for no reason. Or maybe because he has a reason, a quiet inner peace. Now, the big question: what makes two similar men live completely opposite inner lives? Why does Michael drown in emptiness while Phil breathes in peace? And more importantly, how does someone stuck like Michael become someone who lives like Phil? I used to be like Michael and I became Phil. Not by luck, not overnight, but by building a system, a framework from everything I learned over years. I studied various philosophies, modern psychology, social dynamics, logical frameworks, various mental models, and even principles from performance psychology. I kept what worked and threw away what didn't. And slowly, piece by piece, over the years of trial and error, I rebuilt myself from inside out. My name is White. This video is the exact roadmap I used, the one that turned my life around completely. And to make it stick, I'm going to use Michael with us throughout the video. Because as we go through the four pillars, you'll watch him change too. Every pillar moves him one step closer to peace, and you will see what's missing. And by the time we reach the final pillar, you'll exactly understand how he became Phil and how you can too. A complete guide, step by step. Everything you need in one place. Let's get started. There are four pillars Michael must build. If he builds them, he will feel peaceful, fulfilled, purposeful, content on both good and bad days, and happiness as a result. And before we even talk about pillars, we need root logic, the operating system behind all of them. Think of pillars like a house, and the philosophies as the foundation. No proper foundation, the whole house collapses. So there are three fundamental philosophies. Number one, everything in life is a practice. Everything in life is a skill, and every skill requires practice. Even life itself is a practice. So, whatever you do, look at it like a practice. Even happiness, peace, and fulfillment. A practice has three parts. One, a purpose, that is what you want. Two, a right way of doing it, how you do it. And three, the repetition, doing it again and again. Imagine you are learning basketball. Your purpose is simple you put the ball inside the basket. To do that, you need the right way of throwing the ball. Your hands, your aim, and your push. And then you keep doing it again and again and again. And every time you shoot, you correct a tiny bit and get better. It's just like a kid trying to draw a circle. The first one looks funny, but by practicing, it becomes round. The more you practice, the better you get. But if you stop practicing, you forget how to aim. You lose touch, you fall out of practice, and you can't put the ball inside the basket anymore. This is important. If you're not practicing the right things, you're automatically practicing the wrong things. Remember that. It is the same with happiness. If you don't practice it, you can't keep it in the long term. Michael didn't know this. He thought happiness was a one time destination, so he could never hold on to it. Phil knew happiness is a daily practice, so he shows up with intention every day. And that's why his peace lasts. Which leads me to the next principle. Number two, the reality you experience is the delayed effect of what you focus on. Whatever you focus on becomes your experience, your reality. When you focus on something, you give it your attention. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. And wherever your energy goes, actions go there. and your actions slowly create the reality you end up living in. Your reality today is simply the result of what you were focusing on yesterday. Let's make it simple with basketball. Imagine you're on a court. If you focus on the crowd, who's watching, what they think, and how you look, you get distracted. You lose control. You miss the shot. But if you focus on the ball and the basket, your body knows what to do, you shoot better, and you score. Michael focuses on what others think, past mistakes, and future fears. Phil focuses on today, what he can control, his values, and what matters. Think of focus like it's the steering wheel of your life. So the second principle is simple. Whatever you focus on creates your reality, which leads me to the next principle. The third one is what you think, what you feel, and what you do are all interlinked. These three are tied together like the wheels of a tricycle, and they all move in the direction where one moves. For example, Michael thinks everyone at work thinks I'm not good enough. He feels anxious and small. And when he feels anxious, he acts quite closed off and avoids people. And when he acts that way, he goes home feeling even worse, thinking, see, no one talked to me. Maybe I'm not really good enough. And the cycle keeps looping. But here's the secret, you can manipulate this cycle at any point and use it to your advantage. And that's what Phil does. When a thought pops up like, maybe people at work don't like me, Phil doesn't let it run the show. He changes his action first. He walks in, smiles, and says, good morning, and starts the conversation. And that small action shifts his feelings. He feels lighter and more open. And those new feelings create new thoughts. And he thinks people are actually warm, I'm doing fine. One change and the whole loop flips. It's simple. Change one and the other two follow. This is the psychological cheat code. So these are the principles. I don't just want to give you what to do and be done with it. I want you to start thinking the way I'm thinking so you can use this in any area of your life and get the desired result that you want. And once you understand these three principles, you need a framework to apply them. And that's where the four pillars come in. And the four pillars work because they follow a structure. 1. They remove the negative influences. 2. They install better practices. And 3. Sustain them with better habits. Now let's break down each pillar step by step with stories, contrasts, and examples. So the pillar number 1, gratitude. Gratitude uses the principle whatever you focus on slowly creates your reality. And in the 3-step framework, this is where we install a better practice into your mind. When I started practicing gratitude, it did something really powerful. It stopped my mind from staring only at what was wrong. It opened a small window of light inside me. And that small shift made all the other 3 pillars possible later. Your mind is like a camera. Where you point it is what your life starts to look like. If you keep pointing at problems, your world becomes only problems. Gratitude forces your camera to finally look at what's good. UC Berkeley researchers found that practicing gratitude increases your happiness by 25%, even in people with depression. So, how to exactly practice it? Do written gratitude practice on paper, not in your head. Take a pen and a notebook. Notebook is better than a phone because your hands, your eyes, and your body connects. Every morning and every night, when you wake up and when you go to bed, write 15 things that you are really grateful for that day. They can be as simple as I'm really grateful for the home I live in. I'm really grateful for the food I ate today. I'm really grateful for my phone that I can use to call my family. And while writing that, feel the gratitude in your body. Don't rush it. Why 15? Because it forces your mind to look deeper than the 3 obvious things that are good in your life. This practice makes your mind focus on the things that you already have instead of the things that you don't. And this is what starts to shift your inner world. By the way, comment 3 things that you are grateful for today in the comments below. Let's start the practice right now. So, what happens to Michael when he does this? When Michael starts writing his gratitude list, nothing huge happens on the day 1. But after a few days, he notices something small but powerful, automatic shifts happening in his mind. And for the first time in years, he finally stops looking only at the bad. He begins noticing good moments, a warm cup of tea, a friend's message, and a quiet walk. Gratitude doesn't fix his emptiness and loneliness. It gives him the emotional strength to deal with it. It's like it opens a tiny door in his heart, and through that door he starts seeing what's good out there, which he has been missing out for years. And that naturally leads to the next pillar, connection. having healthy and meaningful connections. Since we discussed thoughts, feelings, and actions are interlinked, the connections you have automatically influence the way you feel and the way you act. And in the three-step framework, this pillar is about removing the bad influences in your life and installing better environment. Let me tell you, when I improved my connections, everything in my inner world shifted. I became calmer, stronger, and even more grounded. Life felt lighter because I had people who understood me and I removed people who drained me. And this was the pillar that taught me no one becomes mentally healthy in isolation. We humans grew up in tribes. We survive through each other. We stay emotionally stable when we belong to a tribe. When you have healthy relationships, family, friends, or romantic, you naturally feel happier, safer, and more fulfilled. If loneliness or unhealthy relationships are the biggest source of your pain, this pillar becomes your priority. Science shows that people with strong and healthy relationships have much higher levels of happiness, emotional resilience, and fulfillment. This is the strongest predictor of long term well being. Think of yourself like a phone. You need the right charger. The wrong charger overheats you, drains you, or breaks you. The right charger fills you with energy. People are your chargers. Some charge you, some drain you. Your job is to choose wisely. So, how to actually apply it? This is very important, so listen to this carefully. If you have toxic people in your life, if you can cut them off, cut them off. But if you can't, number one, have an honest and polite conversation with them and tell them how their actions affect you and try to find a common ground. And number two, if nothing changes, reduce their amount of presence in your life as much as possible. And three, don't give them the emotional power over you. Decide that the keys of your happiness stay with you and not in their hands. And number four, use them as a practice. This one I really like because it's a really interesting practice. It is use them as your practice. What do I mean by that? Let me give you an example. If you have someone in your life who you can't get rid of, who always tests your patience, what you can do is treat it as an opportunity to practice your patience and try to increase your patience stats as much as possible. Every time they trigger you, try to practice your patience. Use it as an opportunity. And then, if you are lonely, do not stay at home. No scrolling, no isolating, no hiding. You need to be outside meeting people. See, personally, I don't want to see any empty spots in your Google Calendar, okay? You need to be always out and busy meeting people until you have at least some decent and stable connections. If you live in a city, there are meetups happening all the time. Look them up online, sign up, and fill your calendar. Remember, your Google Calendar should always be filled whenever you have free time. Most people stay at home thinking like, oh, what if I don't like them? What if they don't like me? I'm scared to meet new people. These thoughts are normal, you can ignore them, they'll change later. It is way better to go out and meet new people than to sit at home in loneliness. It is way better to go out and meet new people and talk to humans than to sit alone home with your loneliness. You can also join something like a dance class, a workshop, or a class that you can show up regularly to whenever you have free time. And that's the best way, even if you are shy, to make new friends just by being there. Think about school. You simply became friends because you simply saw the same people every day. Same rule, simple. So when Michael starts reaching out, going out, and meeting new people, he begins to feel lighter. He's still awkward at first, but after a few regular visits, he starts to feel something that he hasn't felt in years, that is, belonging. Connections doesn't fix all his inner wounds, but it gives him the emotional support to finally face what's happening inside of him, and that takes him to the next pillar. And once Michael builds connections, he starts to notice something deeper. He still carries the old fears, guilt, and unresolved pain. Connections showed him that he isn't alone, but it also showed him the parts of himself that he still can't face. And that naturally leads to the next pillar. And that is pillar number three, self love. And if you're someone who's lonely, unhappy, and stuck in your own thoughts, and if you want to conquer your mind, find real peace, and connect with people who are just like you can join our online school community. It's completely free. I do weekly live calls there where I help you personally implement every step of this framework. You can ask me anything directly and I'll guide you through your exact situation. And you will also get exclusive step by step videos and also challenges based on various philosophies, mental models, and advanced techniques that show you how to become fulfilled, purposeful, and mentally strong. If you need help with this part of your life, you can check it out. The link will be in the description below. But pillar number 3, self love. This is the most complex and the most important one, but also the most misunderstood one, most abused as a concept. Everyone talks about self love, but no one knows what exactly it is, and more importantly, how to develop and implement it. And even people who practice it do it wrong. Self love isn't bubble baths, eating at cafes. Self love comes from self understanding. Think of yourself like a house. The outside may look clean, but if the basement is full of junk, smells, and darkness, the whole house feels uncomfortable. Self love is like going into the basement, turning on the light, and cleaning what's been ignored for years. This pillar is about digging up the roots. So let's understand self love a little bit deeper. Self love has two words, self and the love. So, to love yourself, you must understand the self, the good, the bad, the hidden, and also the dark. And then, of course, you also need to know how to love. So, what is the self? So, your self is the full collection of your conscious and your unconscious thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, patterns, habits, positive parts, negative parts, the light and the shadow, and the darkness. Everything, even the parts that you don't know about yourself. Everything, even the parts that you don't know about yet. So, to love yourself, you must understand all these parts. That's why this pillar is so deep. And yes, I will make a separate video that will go into all those deeper layers and levels because this topic deserves its own dedicated breakdown with all the nuances it needs. But here I'll give you the exact steps so you can start doing it properly and practice it properly. So, how to practice it? This is like a version of shadow work that I'm giving you. But self love comes from understanding what's going on inside of you. The best way to do this is through written journaling. So take a pen and paper and write this down. Write down all these three lists. Number one, all the fears that you have. Number two, all the things that you hate in the world. And number three, all the people you resent and why. Because these are the actual things that secretly control your life. They dictate your thoughts, your actions, and your feelings, even when you don't notice. So now let's handle each of these lists. So what do you do for fears? A. Fears. For fears, you debate them. List all your fears on the paper in a detailed way. Imagine each fear is a lawyer arguing a case against you and you are the lawyer on the other side. For example, let's say your fear says, I will never be happy. But you say, but I was happy last year. And I was also happy last month when I went to dinner with my friend. So, fear, what proof do you have to tell that I will never be happy? So, you go back and forth like this. And you will see that most of the fears don't have any real logic or truth to them. Your mind was just tricking you. Then choose one of these three paths. Number one, if the logic has no fear, it's debunked. Hooray! Number two, but if the logic has some logic to it, write what you can do about it. Because you should focus on only what you can control and you should never focus on what you can't. Because that's kind of useless and also a little bit foolish to think you can control what you cannot control, right? But number three, if it's something you cannot control, like for example, if you have a fear of death is not something you can control, right? So you try and accept it fully, wholeheartedly, because it's not a thing you can control. You accept it fully. So this is for fears. And if we come to the B, for all the things that you hate, how do you counter it? You counter it with compassion. Most things that you hate in the world are the things that you hate in yourself. If you hate lazy people, it's usually because you are lazy in some area and it bothers you. And the antidote for hate is compassion. And how do you do it? Try to understand why the people are the way they are, or why the things are the way they are, and try to provide compassion for it. And sometimes you might not have an answer, so you just accept it for the way they are. And when you provide compassion to it, you'll start to understand that's how the nature of the world and the people is. And you can't change it. And this elevates you from the suffering. And this is, we have covered how to tackle fears, how to tackle the things that you hate. Now we will tackle the people you resent. So to tackle resentment, you need to write letters of forgiveness. You don't send these letters to them, you keep them private. Write to each person that you resent. Add your own context and details and write the letter by imagining you and feeling you forgiving them, and write the letter something on the lines of, I don't agree with what you did. Maybe the life hurt you and you pass that pain on to me. I understand you are a human and I forgive you. Not because you deserve it or don't deserve it, but because I deserve peace. And I take my power back now from you. So you write the letter like this. You need to understand that forgiveness is not about them. It's about freeing yourself. Forgiveness is the way to let go of the old hurt. Forgiveness is a way to let go. So, what happens when our hero Michael practices this? Let's look at Michael. We forgot him for a while. When Michael starts journaling, he finally sees the real things controlling him: old fears, hidden angers, resentments, and shame. Stuff he never faced before. As he debates his fears, he notices that most of them collapse immediately and easily. And as he writes about hates and resentment, he feels emotional release, almost like taking out heavy stones out of his backpack, like clearing the basement of the house he lives in. He feels lighter, clearer, and more honest with himself. But he also notices something new. With the new gained self love and clarity, he notices that he is still directionless. This takes him to the final pillar. Till now, gratitude opened Michael's eyes, connection opened his heart, self love cleared his inner world. And now he finally has the space to ask, what do I actually want my life to be about? Self love clears the noise so he can listen to his inner voice. And that naturally leads to the next pillar, pillar number 4, purpose. Pillar number 4 is where we sustain everything with habits and give your life a clear direction to walk towards. With clarity from self love, he begins to listen to his inner voice. He asks, what direction pulls me? What work makes me feel alive? What value do I want to create for others? And why does this pillar matter? The importance of this pillar is humans can face and overcome anything if they know why, and this purpose is the why. Personally, when I found my purpose, everything clicked. My energy came back. I wanted to be more disciplined. Life felt meaningful again. A 2019 JAMA study has found that people with a strong sense of purpose had a 33% lower risk of death and significantly higher life satisfaction. So, purpose is like a compass. It doesn't tell you the destination and nor it should care. It simply tells you which way to walk. As long as you follow the compass, you won't feel lost. Purpose is the mission of your life right now, not something in the future. It's the direction you walk towards, the one that makes you feel fulfilled. Your first purpose should be simple. Your purpose right now should be practicing these pillars every single day. And when you do that, your deeper purpose reveals itself automatically. Because we all have an inner voice, and that inner voice starts to speak and you start to listen. So, how to find your purpose? Purpose is usually the mix of three things. Number 1, something you love to do. Number 2, something you are good at or you can be good at. And number 3, something people find value in. Ideally, your purpose should be a little bigger than you. Something maybe for your family, something maybe for your community, maybe for your country, or for science, or for people's happiness and joy, for something outside of your own ego. A lot of humans are not built to achieve great things for themselves. We are built to overcome struggles when we feel like we are doing it for someone or something we care about. And if you don't feel like this yet, don't worry, it's okay. It will come as you practice these pillars. Let's take an example. Let's say if you love singing and you are good at it and people enjoy listening to you, your purpose can be to bring joy to yourself and others through singing. Because you are giving them something that makes them feel better, they find value in it and they'll happily give you their attention. Purpose is not what job should I have. Purpose is what direction makes my heart feel alive today. So let's bring back Michael. So what happens? Michael reaches this pillar. After gratitude, connection, and self-love, Michael finally feels clearer. For the first time in years, he can finally listen to his inner voice. And that voice quietly asks, where do I want to walk next? He realizes he needs a direction, a mission, something meaningful to walk towards. Purpose gives him that. It's the final piece that transforms him. Gratitude opens Michael's eyes, connection opens his heart, self-love clears his inner world, and purpose gives him direction. When Michael reaches this pillar, Michael finally realizes that Michael and Phil are not two different people. They are the same person. Phil is simply the version of Michael that practiced the right things and practiced the right pillars every single day. So these are the 4 pillars that you need to build lasting inner peace and happiness from inside out. So if you are still here, hope you got amazing value and clarity out of this. If you are someone who is successful but feels emptiness and unhappiness on the inside and you can't figure out why, These pillars are your roadmaps. And if you want help implementing them, and if you want to transform from Michael to Phil, you can schedule a free call with me. I'll put the link in the description below. On that call, I'll exactly look into your situation and tell you what exact steps you need to follow based on your context and which pillar needs what kind of work. If you want to work with me after that, we can. If not, the call will give you immense clarity tailored to your situation and a clear direction to move forward. That's it for today. Hope you just don't listen to this and go on to do the same things again and again, but implement everything I told you in this video because I broke it down in a very detailed way. Trust me, it will change your life. Please do it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and comment if you want me to make video on any specific topic. Peace out. See you in the next video.